You brought up a trade, and I think someone to segue out of this, I think someone that could use a trade, because you know what they say, everything is big in Texas, and Klay Thompson has himself a big hot girl, in Meg Thee Stallion, and it's leading to the detriment of his game. Maybe him going back to where his dad played, in those Laker colors would serve him some justice and turn his game around. What do you think about a lot of the discussion that's been going around? I know Pat Bev and Clay have had their back and forth, and a few podcasters here have mentioned Clay's performance, him now being attached to Meg Thee Stallion. What are your thoughts on Clay?
So I have a couple of thoughts, no pun intended. So when you date a woman with a past or an extensive history,
Mhm.
it's your choice. Dudes can be with whatever girl they want to be with. That's up to them. It's their decision that they have to live with. But you can't expect the world to walk on eggshells and not speak on the observations that they make or the history that they know, especially when she's a public figure, right? So we know Megan Thee Stallion has been quite a bit of a controversial figure in, mainstream media, in the music world, and the
Yeah.
kind of things that surround her. So people are going to talk about these things. They're going to make observations. They're not blind to it. And
Mhm.
maybe those are things that Clay doesn't care about.
Mhm.
And this is what makes him happy. Cool. Good for him, right?
Mhm.
But you can't expect people to not observe, not notice these things, and not speak on it
Right.
because it's the natural conclusion that people are going to come to. If he plays well, they're going to say, yo, you see what Megan has done for him?
Mhm.
She's really throwing it down or whatever,
Mhm.
making it
Mhm.
better for him.
Mhm.
But the
Yeah.
fact that he's struggling, they're going to say, oh, she's been a distraction. It's
Yeah.
just a narrative that's naturally going to come with it.
Mhm.
He should, in an ideal world, yeah, people should probably just leave them alone and let them do their thing. But we don't live in an ideal world. So people are going to
Yeah.
speak on these things.
100%.
So if you're being with a woman like that, then you
Mhm.
gotta have the thick skin to know that people are gonna talk about her, but you gotta be comfortable enough that I don't care what they're gonna say about her.
Mhm.
I gotta go for mine. But at the same time, where it gets a little bit tricky is if
Mhm.
he's too passive about it, she's gonna start looking at him sideways, like, yo, you're not gonna defend me in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you secretly agree with what these people are saying about me? So people are doing what they're expected to do, which is talk about it. And he's doing what's expected, which is he has to go out there and defend his lady.
Mhm.
It, it, it is what it is. Like I said, if it was
Yeah.
ideal, nothing is ideal. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to look into when we're looking at these celebrity relationships. Again, they're both in the spotlight. And we see it every day, right? We see these relationships. They're all over the tabloids. We see it on Complex, what they're doing, the dates, Clay picking her up from the airport, catering to her, this and that. Like we see it all the time, but again, they're usually temporary, right? We've seen these relationships they fabricated. They show all the propaganda around them, to paint them as the perfect couple and all that. But again, it's a whole lot of nothing, right? It's a whole lot of love bombing, honeymoon stage for both of them, right? And they're both successful and rich, and they can do a lot of things in a short amount of time. So again, I do see it as a distraction, knowing who she is and how much attention she does bring. And it's not like she's new to the NBA and dating players in the NBA. We saw her with the Torrey Craig, and they look like they were the happiest couple in the world and that they were gonna ride off in the sunset. So, um, I don't know. I don't know. In Clay's perspective, like he's in Dallas, why not get with the hot girl in Texas? Like I feel like Clay's very laid back and just he's almost living his own movie per se. He's just playing basketball, like he has his dog, he's just having fun, he's just enjoying himself. I think his time of focusing on basketball is somewhat over in a sense. Like he's done it in Golden State. He's won the championships. He's um, three-point competition. He's one of the best shooters in the game. So a lot of the things he's already done, and I think he's just at the tail end of his career where he's just enjoying his life. So to focus on Klay Thompson as a pivotal piece in your team, I think that's done with. And we almost got to shift the narrative because he's just a guy living his life at this point and living tax free in Texas, making his money, has his hot girl, and he's just enjoying life. So I think the discussion on Clay doesn't need to be one that's had. There's a lot more players in the NBA that are playing much better.
I just want to close.
Narrative.
Yeah, I just want to close off on one thing though, and this is just
Hmm.
more so general advice. If you're with a girl, right, or you're with a lady, and you really want things to work out, keep it off the internet.
Hmm.
Bring it to the internet. Don't broadcast your life. Don't showcase things because what you're doing is you're giving an invitation to people's opinions, their thoughts, no pun intended, on
Hmm.
what you have going on. Keep it private, keep it low key. It's for you to experience and enjoy. Leave it like that.
I think that's easier said than done because if we look at modern day artists, they're more so content creators more than just musicians at this point, right? They are more seen as influencers rather than musicians at this point. And when they're not making music or whatever the case may be, they're in their content they're in their content creation influencer bag where they're just recording themselves eating, going on dates, trying this, trying that, going golfing, doing whatever the case may be, in terms of getting subscribers on Snapchat or more likes or whatever the case may be. Because it's again, it's their way of getting some type of passive income. Because we know it, artists nowadays can't just make money off of creating music, right? So it's easier said than done from Meg's point of view. Clay, yes, because again, he has a job in basketball that pays well. Meg, as a artist, not so much if she's not on tour or promoting an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, far be it for me to tell anybody who they should be with or what they should be doing. I personally don't believe if you're an average, everyday, simple guy,
Hmm.
I don't believe that you're going to find a fruitful or beneficial relationship with a woman who is an influencer,
Yeah.
right? Not to knock that lifestyle, not to knock that crap. Nothing, I have absolutely nothing against it. But it's just what comes with that lifestyle is going to be a huge culture shock and eye opener for someone who also is not involved in that lifestyle.
Hmm.
And so you got to proceed with caution because I don't know if we'll get into the teams thing in a moment, but just to close off the
Yeah.
subject right now, Andrew Schultz, his co-host, Akash Singh.
Mm.
I don't know if you see what's going on the internet, but a lot of videos are circulating about his wife talking about her life back when she was in college, about popping her, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
at
Oh
frat
gosh.
parties, about how she
Yeah.
wants to have orgies, about how
Yeah.
she is
Yeah.
thinking about other dudes while with her dude, like just things that not very wholesome things.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. My
being
timeline didn't have that. I had a lot of Roy and Mal hate on my timeline.
okay, yeah, no, mine had a lot of that. So, and I wasn't too familiar with the Akash thing. Like I know who he is, but I don't know too much
Hmm.
about him. But
Yeah.
now I know far more about his wife than I do about him and what he's done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
this is what I mean when I say going into that realm, right? So if you're a humble, low-key dude and you want to live a certain way, don't get blinded by the looks of a woman who might be involved in that life. That's how they earn
Mm.
their living. Continue to proceed and progress in your life, nothing against it. But again, it's a completely different world that's going to be a shocker. So always bear that in mind.
Yeah, I agree. Can't disagree there.